Brian is basically, he's like one of those battered women. He's been getting the crap beat out of him for like years. And finally his man comes home and like doesn't kick him in the corner. And so he thinks that he just went to Disney.
Inappropriate.
Listen, listen, it's not funny. I'm not making fun of it.
So,
what I'm trying to say.
So finally my lover comes home and instead of beating me, he or she decides to compliment me on my nice dress and or t-shirt. Okay, and I'm like, oh my God, I love you. My name is Brian, that is Shane, this is the Popcast, and today we're talking about The Flash, second to last episode for this season, and for once, my friends, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I thought it was spot on, mate, spot on. I liked almost every part of this thing. I loved, actually for once, the entire season 5, I enjoyed DeVoe's character. It's crazy. I don't know what to tell you. This was such a turnaround for me. And damn it, the Flash writers are going to get me the last 2 episodes to come back for season 6. I know it. Or 5.
Yeah, I think we're in season 4.
Sorry, season 5.
This was definitely a much better episode. There were some really great points to it. I wouldn't say it was spot on perfect, but
yeah.
But you know, you can definitely this was a much more enjoyable episode. I think it took the story to where it needed to go finally. I think you felt like, oh, finally it's happening.
The conclusion.
So that was a big part of it. Yeah, so I definitely think it was a much better episode. I'm still going to be picky on a few things, but I got a lot of positives to give it. Right.
By the way, what's going on with your hair, bro? You going for that Krusty the clown look, or what? What's going on?
All right, listen, man. Alexis Diamond told me, "Leave me alone, Brian. I can do what I want with my hair."
I'm just saying, like,
she told me I could do what I want.
Okay. I mean, are you trying to channel It from 1987? Huh? You going for that It the clown look? Maybe Krusty?
Don't mess with my hairline, dude. Listen, I plan on being Cade from American Idol.
Why don't you just put on a hat? I don't understand. Or cut your hair. Or cut your hair.
No, it's growing, bro. I'm letting it go. We're gonna see what happens. Everybody is on this journey with me, bro.
I'm sorry, everybody. Sorry.
You're on this journey with me, guys.
All right, moving on. Don't forget our 3,200 sub milestone giveaway. We're giving away a gaming console of your choice. Oh, yeah. Woo!
Wait, which one would you get if it was you?
A Dreamcast from 1991.
Whoa. Can you even plug that in anywhere?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I have one of those already. But listen, a gaming console of your choice, as long as we can buy it on Amazon or eBay, we will be purchasing it for one lucky winner of the 3,200 sub milestone giveaway. So get down there below, comment, and subscribe to be part of that killer contest.
Yeah, if it's me, bro, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting PlayStation 1, and I want Final Fantasy 7 and UFO XCOM UFO Defense.
PlayStation 1? I have a PlayStation 1. You want one?
Really? Let's talk later.
I have a PlayStation 1. I have 2 PlayStation 2s. I have 2 Xbox 360s. I have 2 Dreamcast.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, up until my kids were born, I bought gaming consoles all the time. I had a good time with the consoles. And then my kids were born, and I stopped buying gaming consoles.
Wow. You better be careful what you tell people. They might want one of yours when they win.
I mean, they're just sitting in boxes, so go for it. Okay, guys. Also, this episode is sponsored by Cisco's Rocket Fuel Whiskey. The only way for a speedster to get plastered is some of Cisco's special formula. Yes, that's right. We made a shirt all about his special drink that he makes speedsters so they can get tipsy.
Yes, because Barry's actually pretty funny when he's drunk.
Yeah. I find it, although there was an episode of Legends where Wally was drinking that same substance, hanging out with Rip. And I remember Rip was like, let me try. And he goes like, I don't know, man. This stuff is especially for speedsters. And Rip tried it. And I immediately expected Rip just to fall down dead. So that was actually, if we were reviewing Legends, I'd be like, no way our human can consume that alcohol. Anyways, listen, this is a really cool shirt. I should have been wearing mine today, but it's in the wash. Very cool. Go pick one up. Use coupon code Shane or Brian for 30% off only at mixtees.com.
Support the show.
Yeah, man. Listen, guys, we've been very critical of The Flash this season and a little bit of last season. But to be fair, there's been a lot to be critical about, man.
Amen. Preach it. Amen.
Okay? There's been a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of writing into corners, a lot of problems, a lot of characters not acting in character, a lot of confusion. But you know what? This episode was a breath of fresh air for me. There might have been some problems there still, fine. But overall, the episode itself was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the pacing was good. I thought the writing was pretty good. The characters really, really worked for me. And I liked where I took the story. So, for the first time this season, everybody, thank you. Thank you for giving us a real episode of The Flash.
Yes, and if you have a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy or a terrible Teresa today, it will probably be me, because I do have some moments where I'm not super, super happy about it. And I feel like, even though it was a much better episode, I feel like Brian is basically, he's like one of those battered women, which that's not really a funny thing at all. It's like he's been getting the crap beat out of him for like years. And finally his man comes home and like doesn't kick him in the corner. And so he thinks that he just went to Disney.
Inappropriate. So
you know what I'm saying? Listen, listen, it's not funny. I'm not making fun of it.
So,
what I'm trying to say.
So finally my lover comes home, and instead of beating me, he or she decides to compliment me on my nice dress and or t-shirt.
Right. Yeah. Like, or not even that. Like, okay,
and I'm like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah. You're not okay. So you're a battered husband, and your
my
wife,
non-binary spouse.
Yeah. And she usually like puts her stilettos into your back and stuff and forces you to like clean the floor.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Some of us have fetishes. Some of us like that. Okay.
Okay, well, you can tell yourself any way you want. But so she comes in this time and basically just, gives you the nod instead of beats the crap out of you. And I think that's what the Flash...
Oh, my God, she still loves me.
Yeah, right. Because Barry still didn't really do much good superhero stuff.
No, but he did, bro. I totally disagree. Like, he didn't trip on himself. He accomplished every mission he set out to accomplish in a real superhero fashion, and for once, when he couldn't do what needed to be done, it was because of actual limitations. It wasn't Barry's limitations; it was DeVoe beating him in some way. So before, it was always Barry not being fast enough, or Barry forgetting something, or Barry was his own worst enemy. This episode, Barry did everything right, and he was stopped at the very end by an actual barrier that makes sense, by an actual problem that actually did not originally come from Barry himself.
Okay, well, I think that Barry did a good job this episode. I think that the Flash's acting, I guess, or the Flash's character was on point. I love the emotional roller coaster that we went through, but he was still basically, what's the right word? He's still basically a limp noodle. He didn't accomplish anything.
No, he didn't. He took out the satellite. I totally disagree. He saved the humans took out the satellite.
Wait. Did true or false? Did DeVoe not launch enlightenment at the end of this episode?
But that's the beauty of this episode. He didn't do it with the satellite that was destroyed. He instead changed his plan midstream, went to Star Labs into Gideon, put up that null field so he couldn't phase through, and used Star Labs against itself. That was genius.
No. Okay, Barry destroyed one satellite.
It only took one satellite, though. That's what, remember they made that clear.
Right. So what he did was he went and used Star Labs satellite against them. So what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter. Barry was still ineffective. He didn't have a win this episode. And let me ask you this question really quick. The whole time, the reason why the Thinker has been letting Barry survive is because Barry was going to, serve some sort of great purpose towards what happened. Well, he just launched his initiative, and Barry served zero purpose.
No, I disagree. I think the purpose is after the Enlightenment, not before. Okay. Let me explain.
Okay, because right now I'm like, what was the?
I was with you, but remember that conversation they had outside of the after Barry blows up the satellite with the piece.
Yeah,
and they're having a conversation. He says things. He's using we and we're, and he was referring to him and Barry going to save the world. He's going to need Barry's help in some way after the Enlightenment. I think Barry is going to survive the Enlightenment, or he plans on Barry surviving it because of his healing stuff, and he's going to use Barry to save the planet. I honestly believe that he plans on using Barry after the Enlightenment. I didn't get any of that. He was using words like we're and we. He was referring to him and Barry.
He said, I'm going to save the world, not you. I mean, I think those were his exact words.
No, I'm telling you, bro. He was talking to Barry as if Barry and him, him and Barry are going to be fixing things after the Enlightenment.
I will be very curious to see, because I didn't get that impression at all, nor that feeling at all in the least bit. I thought he may be talking about himself and maybe Marlize. I did not get the we out of that at all. So I'll have to go back and watch it. Hope if you're right, that's interesting, but I didn't get that impression at all.
I think that he's going to need the Flash to clean up the world once they're all a bunch of dummies. And the Flash is going to do it because the Flash cares about people regardless, even if the Thinker won or not.
Well, I'll have to hear your theory on this, because I'm not sure what you mean by clean up the world, but all right.
Well, when everybody's dumb and stumbling around and, can't operate a vehicle, and it can throw itself into chaos pretty quick without a speedster there to fix everything.
Oh, so you're saying like Barry is going to make sure people don't get injured as they're getting stupid.
Well, yeah, in addition to not, getting people to put down their arms and all the plan. I honestly still think that DeVoe's plan is dumb as hell. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, if this is where they're going, they definitely haven't given us that indication, and I didn't feel it from this episode.
Their conversation, he used the word we and we're twice in that conversation. I rewinded it like 3 times.
All right. Well, I mean, you probably looked at it a little closer than I did. Well, I remember him saying, this time I'm going to save the world, not you. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I hope it works out so that it makes sense, because if he doesn't use Barry in some way,
guys,
then you should try to kill him.
Shane, you're right. You're right, Shane. But DeVoe's plan is so stupid. I hate it. 100% with you. But we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
So,
no, we
in order to make it slightly better, this is one of the only ways to possibly save his infatuation for keeping Barry alive is that he needs Barry after the Enlightenment, not before.
Yeah, but you're coming up with that. That's not something you got from.
When he said we're going to do this, I immediately latched onto that. That's when I came up with it. When he said the word we're and we. All right. When he said that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. He got plans for Flash after the Enlightenment.
Yeah, but a good show would have. a good show, and I'm not saying that, you know, or a good, well-written show would have given Barry some reflection moment after that to kind of to let that seep into us.
Oh, you're right. This is not a well-written show.
Let's start the episode.
All right. We start off with Diggle from Team Arrow. It used to bother me a lot that they use Diggle, you know, as if they're just assuming that the audience watches Team Arrow and they know who the hell Diggle is.
Yeah.
But now that they've used him so many times, I feel like he's he's a character
part of the Flash
now. Yeah.
Might as well.
What's funny is I still like him better on the Flash. I really don't like Arrow.
Everybody from the Arrow is better on the Flash, bro.
It's weird. They're just like they're less broody and more human. You know, it's silly. But I found it funny how this actor was playing DeVoe, playing Diggle, like some Inception level acting there. Yeah, I don't think he even pulled it off, but I think he had a good go at it.
Yeah, it was okay. There were a couple moments where I was like, okay, I can believe it a little bit.
This opening scene was so cool when the modern music clicked. So DeVoe had a plan. He was gonna waltz in there, wasn't gonna start killing everybody. He's gonna walk in, but then he heard the modern music and he's like, oh, modern music.
Yeah.
And it just triggered him. And next thing you know, the classical music is playing and he is just kicking ass. I mean, this guy, this was an epic intro to this episode.
I totally agree. And I thought the exact same thing when it was happening. I'm like, now this is how a bad guy is supposed to do things.
This is a bad guy. And the way he was choreographing, he was using all of his powers. Like, he threw a marble on the ground. He just threw a marble on the ground and walked away. Like, this guy is using all of his powers in conjunction. It was such an orchestra of abilities, and behind that is this amazing orchestra, music. And it was just so well done. I really, really, really enjoyed this opening scene. I watched it like 4 times, dude. It was so good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It was very good. I really appreciated it. I thought that the show did a really good job of bringing this to us and letting us see a bad guy actually do really bad things.
God, I really wish that we had this DeVoe the whole time. I mean, not this DeVoe kicking ass per se, but like this, like, sort of cocky. I feel like we had a version of it, but it was always like underneath it was like self-doubt and like.
Yeah, it would have been cool to have somebody who was just like everything was just kind of beneath him. And I think they tried to go for that, but I don't think they achieved it till this episode.
They really didn't. This episode, almost as if like Marliese leaving him unshackled his emotional tethers and allowed him to do whatever he needed to do.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then kudos. It's just too bad it took so long.
Right. Now we get this scene. The Flash ran around the world looking at launch sites. This is one of my criticisms, guys. They Easter egg, they dropped a bunch of really cool things like Black Hawk Island, a bunch of cool DC places. But then they also sort of mixed in there like, SpaceX and Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, dude. Like, are we or are we not in the regular world? Is it our Earth? Because apparently they have Spider-Man there, and they have Cape Canaveral and SpaceX, which means they have Elon Musk. And if they have Elon Musk, then they have the Boring Company, and they have Boring Company, and they have Jackass. Like, what's... this is the problem with dropping too many pop culture references in a fictional world where New York, Chicago, and LA don't exist here, right?
Yeah.
You drop too many pop culture references. Yeah.
It's the multiverse. That's what it is. They do whatever they want.
So you drop too many pop culture references, though. Now you're like, wait a minute. If Florida exists, wouldn't New York and California exist?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
They literally should have just not said Cape Canaveral or SpaceX. I don't understand why they need to drop those pop culture references. Like, what did that do for the audience?
Well, and then when you when you consider the fact that it was a pointless moment anyways for the show, considering that DeVoe's powers allow him to just anti-gravity things into space. Why the team didn't remember his powers is kind of besides me. So it was really a waste of our time, a waste of their time, and it really just screwed up the universe a little bit for no purpose at all.
Yeah, you're totally right. It was 100% a waste of screen time. They should have given us another 20 seconds of DeVoe kicking ass.
Right, I would have taken, yeah, for sure. That would be much better.
No, you're totally right. This whole scene was pointless. It confused the audience. And all for the sake of being able to drop some Easter eggs.
Yes. You're exactly right. They were trying to. I like
the Black Hawk Island Easter egg. That's cool. I know the Berlanti universe is thinking about doing a Black Hawks TV show, and I know Steven Spielberg is making a Black Hawks movie, right?
Yeah, true. You're right.
So that's a cool Easter egg. I like hearing that from our writing team, but you could have worked that in any other way. It did not require this thing.
Yeah, you're so right, man. They didn't even need to bring it. They could have done it some other way. They didn't need to do it this way.
Yeah,
we don't need to know SpaceX. We don't need to hear that.
Totally agree. And again, he has Lift's powers, so yeah. True that. Oh, I love this. When Tom comes in, he goes, "Look at this article I found by Anonymous." So Iris actually gave her article to Harry to proofread. Harry forgets that Iris gave it to him and then comes and brings it to the Team Flash's attention. This is just showing you that Harry is getting worse.
I'm on the fence with this. I mean, I love his acting, and I love that.
I love Tam Kavanaugh, dude. This guy's amazing.
Well, and I get, and I totally get the dumbing down process they're doing. Okay, and I get that he'd be like, check out this article by Anonymous. But the moment that she says, no, that's my article, I wrote it, there should be him going, oh, okay, okay, so that would be okay. But they take it one step further, and he says, no, the byline says Anonymous, not, and now all of a sudden he's using all three of her damn names, so Iris West Allen, and it's just like, I feel like they took the character a little further stupid than necessary for the sake of getting some laughs, as opposed to being pure to the character, and a guy who's supposed to still be struggling with the fact that he's getting dumber. Instead, now he seems to be embracing it.
Honestly, I hear you, and I understand your problem here, but I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, I mean that's cool, and that's the way it should be. So
I didn't, because I understand what they're going for, and maybe it wasn't 100% pulled off perfectly, but I totally get it.
But it happened every single time they did something.
Again, so it's I am the battered spouse, so
you are the battered spouse. So they cheated, yeah. So they basically, I don't know, they just.
Oh, and by the way, Iris West Allen, her name's been hyphenated since like the 80s.
I know, but he didn't use that until now. He's dumb. So now all of a sudden it's like they're trying to. There's no inner struggle. There's no concern. He should be in despair that he's losing his intelligence.
I think that ignorance is bliss, bro.
Okay, maybe I did use that before, so maybe that's what they're going for. Anyway, it didn't feel quite true for me. I didn't mind it, but it didn't feel true. And like I said, I went to this episode.
I knew that there were going to be when I was watching the last night's episode. I'm like, this is going to be an interesting show me and Shane are going to do, because Shane and I are not going to see eye to eye on everything this episode.
Yeah, no, there's some things I liked, and this
because you're very
Iris West. George, do I get to pet the rabbits?
No, we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Come on,
but guys, Shane is very forgiving about TV shows, guys. until they beat him up for like 8 episodes in a row, and then he becomes hypercritical of everything they do.
I'm tired of being the battered husband.
Well, the crazy part is this, like, you know, when we review the Orville, we love the Orville, and because the Orville almost always delivers gold, then when they make mistakes and when there's a writing or a continuity error, we definitely gloss over it because the rest of it is so good that we can forgive the little stuff, you know?
Yes. And I'm still not yet in forgiving mode. Now, I will say this episode took me a long ways into having hope for the finale being somewhat of a success for the end of season 4.
Yeah,
so I could go there.
I do think that if this is what we're going to get, the finale might actually be good.
Right. But I'm not going to.
The first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, but I'm not going to pull my punches yet. I'm going to give criticism where I feel like criticism is deserved.
No. You don't. You should never don't pull your punches. I get it. 100%. 100%. But this seems, especially now we've spent 10 minutes talking about, this seems like a very nitpicky thing to complain about.
I'm not complaining about the scene in whole. I just feel like last episode he went from being extraordinarily concerned about his becoming less intelligent, and now he's not only less intelligent, but he's also a fool. So he's like a jester, right? And so I feel like that's becoming a jester is not becoming dumb, becoming less intelligent. Does that make sense?
I get it. I feel like there's still a place for this. I like the fact that they made him dumb and that it works into the story. Like, I remember criticizing the whole, like, why are they making Harry dumb? This is dumb.
I mean, no, I love that they're making him less intelligent because it matches the story. I just don't like the way they're dumbing him down, I guess.
When he says, well, you know, today I'm a dum-dum, so.
I mean, there is some comic relief, but that's but okay, so I guess he's gone from caring about losing his intelligence to, oh well, screw it, let's just go with it. Whatever. Okay, so that's fine. If that's what we're doing, then that's what we're doing. Let's keep going.
All right.
Wait. Oh yeah, he's gonna throw up. Okay, this is great too.
Barry runs, grabs Diggle once again, speeds it back to Star Labs. Guys, this is a going trend. Every time the Flash interacted with Diggle, he's forced Diggle to vomit in there. Every time he operates, instead of just going to talk to Diggle where he's at, he has to bring Diggle to where he is.
Right.
And I get it. It's because you don't want to have a scene change and this new set and everything just to have a conversation. I understand that. And you can add some comedy to it.
It's a little entertaining. And
save some money on the sets. I get it. So I'm going to let it go. But
yeah,
I do feel like he could have just talked to Diggle in Star City.
But I can appreciate this. What I can't appreciate is the very next second when Barry says, just tell us the location. He's like, Barry, I can't. He's like, just tell us. Come on, it's serious. So he tells him, and then he says, okay, go check it out. And then the guy goes around to the computer screens and basically logs into whatever the thing is. So I want to know why Barry needed to know the location when it had absolutely zero impact on what was happening at the location.
Well, they need to know where it is so they can go there. I get that.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay. Yeah, that's fair. But I just thought it was funny that he did that.
Originally, I was like, my first reaction was, well, he gave that information up really quickly. And then I realized that like he's known the Flash for a long time now.
If you can't trust the Flash, who could he trust?
And the Flash has saved his life and his wife's life multiple occasions, and the Flash is trusted by his best friend, the Arrow. If you can't trust the Flash, then there's no one in the world you can trust if you're a Diggle.
You're 1,000,000% right. Yeah, he just needs to tell Barry whatever he wants to know.
Yeah, which is what he does, basically. Yeah. It's national security be damned. I forgot what was going on here, but they're arguing about something. Wait, all right. Oh no, they're like, how can we save everybody and get to DeVoe? Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they show you. So DeVoe has these people hanging in the air above the pressure plates. These pressure plates are explosives, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool, by the way. And that's all there is there. That they're trying to figure out how to save these people, because once you touch them, they explode.
Yes. I love this next scene.
Yeah. First of all, this actor that played the pizza delivery guy, okay? I don't know if you guys recognize him, but he's been in a lot of movies and TV shows as sort of the dumb henchman or the surfer guy. I've seen him on CSI. I've seen him Hawaii Five-0. I've seen him in MacGyver. I've seen him in so much. I've seen this actor in so much stuff as like the guy in the background that's smoking weed and surfing. It's like he's found a niche, and that's what he does.
He made a career out of it. No, I got to tell you, I absolutely love Celeste. I love her whole. I love everything she does in this episode.
Yeah,
absolutely love what they've done with her powers. I love how she's really. Any weird opinion I had of her before, I loved her in this episode. She's
totally growing on me. It's weird.
Yeah, and she pulled off these other characters in her acting as well.
Yeah,
she did a great job.
Yeah, she did. When it first started happening, I'm like, what is going on? Cecile is her name. What's going on? Yeah. And then when they explained it, it really worked. Even when she was acting as Caitlin, it worked. It really worked.
Totally worked. Then she was Joe. I thought she just loved it. I loved it, and I want to see more of it in the finale.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. For once, you know what's the crazy part is, there was a little bit of a slight emotional change with Iris this episode, and I loved it. So the place they're taking these sort of secondary characters that previously really didn't fit any actual purpose is good. I know you're going to have some criticisms for her out of character moment, but I'm agreeing with you when we get there. But I hope they continue that.
I mean, we've always said that her role in the team is wrong. So we'll see if lately they've been kind of doing some good things, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
I've just sneezed like 4 times.
Nice. Bless you. I didn't hear any of it.
I muted the mic so that you wouldn't be able to hear that.
It wouldn't freak me out.
All right. This is when they've been studying the Flash. I thought it was interesting. Barry's like, "You've been studying me?"
I thought it was. He's like, "You guys have been studying me?" That was pretty funny.
And they figured out that they can probably last longer in the speed
force that he creates.
Right. What's it called? Flash time.
Yes.
So they start practicing, and he's trying to put them in flash time and then go do his own thing. And they have like 55 milliseconds to operate, which is, I guess, that's how much time it takes for those things to explode, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of time in flash time.
Right. And Cisco has a really hard time breaching, because remember, I like how that they're showing that there's some issues with breaching still. This is not it's not like because they needed breaching abilities during flash time this episode, they made it work. No. They made it. It's still a hard thing. He still has to figure out how to activate a breach in flash time. I like that. This was good. This was good writing.
Well, it was very good writing. Credit where credit's due. They spent enough time. They needed to give you enough time to show the training, or else it would have been totally unbelievable had they just gone and did it. And so I really love that they took the time this episode to show Barry training them, and to give Barry that moment of self-doubt that we get to see, that I think is critical and key to his character for this season. So great job on the writing here.
Yeah. Obviously, Cisco fails the first few attempts, and he's trying to walk it off. Cecile comes to Star Labs to talk to Caitlin, and she ends up acting as Caitlin, which I thought was great.
Yeah, it was kind of seamless. I didn't, she started doing it for a second. I wasn't even sure. And then I'm like, oh, that's Caitlin. It was pretty good.
And then Cecile serves another purpose where she goes, listen, there's something that you're trying to ignore. You're going to have to deal with it eventually.
Yeah, I liked her role here.
Yep, it served a purpose. And then she goes back to training, and she also fails, falls, and hits the bulkhead. I'm not sure if that's a bulkhead, but the wall, whatever, really hard, and has a little vision. And we don't know what that vision is, but she has a little...
I have a little criticism here.
Talk to me.
So her feet get tied up, and she can't move her feet. And in the vision, it shows her feet entangled into a small bicycle as a child. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was just a little convenient that she's happening to be struggling with these inner turmoil, and that tie down of her feet triggered this super critical moment in her history that had to come out. So,
well, for a few episodes now, she's been banging on the Killer Frost door trying to get information.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I just felt like, did you have to tie her feet down? This is where I feel like the writers waste too much time. Do they need to show we don't need to go that deep. We don't need them to like tie the character's legs up so that way, and then to go into the dream sequence or the memory as her feet being tied up. And it's almost like they take it too far sometimes so that it doesn't feel natural or it feels forced.
Yeah.
So this scene felt forced, like they needed to force us to understand why she's having that memory. We don't need to. She's already experiencing it. You don't have to waste a minute of screen time, explaining those types of things so that she, you don't need to hold our hand to get there.
Right.
Stop doing, just do it. We are smart enough to figure it out ourselves.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that, but I was overall okay with it.
Horrible. Yeah, it wasn't horrible or anything, but that's the whole, like when you get to the problem with the writers overall, it's a lot of what their problem is there's just too much hand holding.
Yeah, you're right. Then the Flash is having second thoughts about training them if they're gonna have problems.
I love this scene a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to train them because people have been trained in the past, they die. So
I love this scene almost as much as I love the scene where him and Cisco end up fighting, having an argument. That scene is, to me, the best scene in the whole show.
Yeah, that's coming up. Oh, so this is when Harry is knocking on the wrong door.
I love that he's knocking on the wrong door. But once he realizes he's knocking on the wrong door, let go of the joke. Okay, move on. You don't have to make him look like a fool.
I mean, he is getting dumber, though, so I'm okay with it.
I don't know. I don't like it. I respect this character. He's not.
Iris is like, wrong door, Harry.
Yeah. And this, I get it. I get the funny, but HR was kind of that character.
A little bit.
And so this is a different character. I would have connected much better to him struggling, being a little frustrated. We already got the comic relief with...
Whoa, I just realized what the writers did, bro. The writers gave us another version of Harry without actually taking us to another world to get him. Every season, they've given us a different version of Harry Wells.
Okay.
They gave us a different version of Harry Wells again this season, yet we don't have to actually... It's the same one that's just transformed this time.
No, well, I mean, it's for a couple episodes. I don't think he's going to go into season 5 like this.
I don't know. They've been making some strides toward his emotional sort of connection.
I mean, maybe they do. Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they do.
That might be, we might, that might be some of the loss that we feel in the finale is that they can't fix Harry. And he's got maybe they stop the process and he has to slowly make his way back. But in that process, he becomes more well-rounded because he has to get in touch with his feelings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. Are they going to start making him drool, and is he going to have to wear a diaper soon?
No, I think they'll stop the process. I think now that, and we're going to get there, but now that Marlise is basically on board, I think she can help stop the process.
All right.
This is the fight between Barry and Cisco. Where he's like, look, man, you guys are my best friends, and I've lost so many people that I've helped train. So no, I'm done. You're out. I'm not helping. You're not helping.
Well, yeah. Well, guess what, Barry? You're not the only one that has feelings here, okay? I started this whole thing, okay?
Yeah,
I'm the one.
Yeah, but it's my fault, Cisco. It's my fault.
Oh, it's my fault.
No, it's my fault.
All right. No, it's my fault.
No.
All right. It's your fault. It's all your fault.
All right. I mean, it can be your fault too, I guess. I'm out.
No, it's your fault. It's totally your fault now.
Come here.
No, close your mouth. We don't need that. We don't need that. It's a family show, man.
Woo!
Are we awake yet? All right.
So they get over it. They decide to go. I like Caitlin's look here. She got
I do. I love the goggles.
She has the. I don't know why I always use the word guts. She guts. I think you know why I use the word a lot. It's because of America's Got Talent. It's messed me up, man.
It's got you.
It got me. So I'm like, she got some glasses. No, she has the Captain Cold glasses. I guess you have to have that to protect your eyes when you're not a Frost villain or whatever.
Yeah. She'd like to keep her eyes in place while she's in flash time.
Yeah, and she also has those cool new ice shooters.
No. Not ice shooters, bro.
What are they?
What did Barry call them? I totally forgot what he called it. I loved it though. I loved what he called it. It was a perfect name. He's like, I think a good name for it. And I like that banter. I love how they always go back to the name.
This is like they shoot ice.
Was it like shooters. A frost cannon or something like that? And he's like, it's an ice shooter. That was a really nice little scene. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. No, it just shows that these three actors and characters are very comfortable with each other.
Very good chemistry.
Yeah. A lot more chemistry here than other Berlanti shows. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good point.
Oh my goodness. I can go on that tangent. I can create a whole episode about why other Berlanti shows just don't work.
The Berlantiverse.
All right. And they pull it off. They create the little breaches. They put the little ice that protects their body as they're going through the breach. Things explode. Barry gets to the breach in time. It's all going as planned for once in a long time. It's
right. I'm like, yes, they're doing it.
It's working out. Barry is, in fact, fast enough this episode.
Yes.
And then he talks to the DeVoe. When he destroys the satellite, he comes back down. DeVoe's standing there like... And then he starts quoting Nietzsche, which I thought was interesting. Like, as someone who's planning on, like, basically... I mean, he's basically murdering, in some way, the whole planet. And he's gonna quote Nietzsche. I thought that was weird.
You know what they should have did, Nietzsche? You know what they should have did, bro? When Flash came back, he should have went like this.
I said Nietzsche.
I should have like this. Oh my gosh! Why did I run around the world looking for launch sites? I should have remembered that he could do that.
Damn it!
Right? I wish he would have done that. That would have been so cool.
I almost forgot about that.
Why? You can just make things flow.
Oh, I gotta say,
talked about it for like 3 episodes.
When they were arguing, and he had this air of like, look, this is not even going to slow me down. I thought right there, well, what's he gonna do? Like, is this gonna just delaying it until the next episode where he can create another satellite? And I was like, that would be convenient to get us to a season finale. So I love the fact that the Flash won, and then DeVoe said, nope. and he went to Star Labs where it all began.
Right. Well, here's one that'll blow your mind. Did he know that the Flash was going to do that or not? I think
he knew it was a possibility, and he had a plan in case that happened.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll go with that.
No,
otherwise, just go to Star Labs in the first place. I don't know, whatever.
No, I think that he knew it was a possibility, but he had a plan for it regardless of whether it happened. I think he has a plan for every single possible outcome.
Okay.
I mean, it worked though, because for once the Flash didn't lose to himself; he lost to DeVoe, which is fitting.
Yeah,
he's been losing to himself a lot, bro.
All he does is lose.
Tripping.
It's like watching. I feel like I'm watching The Karate Kid or like Rocky for the first 90% of the movie.
It's like 22 episodes of Rocky getting his ass beat.
Gosh, I'm just tired of it. Please hit him in the face already. It's like those shots in the thing where it's like, right? It's like, please just do something. But I will say it was a nice bad guy, good guy conversation where you're like, the bad guy thinks he's right. He thinks he's doing the right thing.
Bad guy thinks he's a hero, man. Yeah.
He thinks he's the hero. He really believes that. And so I think that was a necessary conversation. It really forwarded the story, and we needed it in this episode. So good job.
Agree with that. Now, Caitlin gets Cisco to vibe her back to that memory now that she is aware of its existence. And they vibe back. And bum, bum, bum.
They broke the universe, bro. They just broke the universe. I like it. I like the twist. But I want to know what writer's sitting around the table and he's like, we'll do a young Frost, Killer Frost, man. And everybody's like, good idea. How's that going to work? I have no idea, but let's just do it and we'll see what happens.
The thing is, she's been a meta the whole time. She's actually a natural meta. That's what this is getting at.
Right, but this story doesn't have very many natural metas, right? I mean, how many?
Not very many. It's rare. It's super rare.
It's like none?
No. There's been a couple that weren't particle accelerator meta.
But they were some other variation and since the particle accelerator, right?
No. There's been a couple non-particle accelerator metahumans. It's just super rare. The thing is, Killer Frost in the comic books, she wasn't made because of the particle accelerator.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So I thought that they had originally changed that to match the particle accelerator thing, and now it looks like they're going back to the roots. And Killer Frost, it has always been sort of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type character. Okay. And I guess the particle accelerator just sort of kickstarted it.
I thought this was interesting. I thought, okay, well, this is kind of a twist, and I'm kind of curious where they're going to go with this, and how they can introduce it to the storyline. And
that means Killer Frost is definitely still there.
Well, and I guess it also means that maybe this is how they're explaining that DeVoe couldn't take away her power.
Right, because it's part of, it's not just a dark matter infusion. It's actually part of herself.
It's part of her.
DeVoe's powers come from dark matter. That his control over dark matter is what allows him to use those powers, right?
That makes sense then.
And for her, it's just a genetic anomaly.
So did she kill her dad?
I don't know. That's deep.
That's what it sounded like, right?
It sounds like she did, yeah.
Sound like he's like, no, right? It sounds like she killed her dad.
I hope not. I think he's still alive. I hope. I don't know.
Well, no, the counselor said, were you upset when your father died? Remember when your father passed away? And she said, well, he had ALS and, he was always hiding his pain. And she kind of avoided the question. So I'm pretty sure Killer Frost killed her dad.
Oh, that'd be deep.
And it would be good for the show.
That'd be good for the show, yeah. I love Daniel Panabaker. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes, I said it right. I love you, Daniel Panabaker.
Pennebaker, but you're close.
Pennebaker, I love you. All right, moving on. We go see Marlise. She's at her home where she feels safe. I love that revelation that Iris had. It's like, no, man, this is my home, okay? I feel safe here. Let's take your shoes off. Oh, my God.
Okay, I mean, that was cool. I like that, too. I didn't like, this is the character break I was talking about. Iris has been the well-rounded, reasonable, kind of thoughtful person for everybody, for Barry, for everybody, saying, you need to see the other side. You need to be reasonable, blah, 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 for everybody, the whole season.
I remember.
And suddenly, Harry is basically saying, well, let's put ourselves in their shoes so we can kind of feel where they're coming from. And Iris loses her mind. She gets angry and, they're monsters, and starts having this real Barry moment. That is just kind of uncharacteristic.
So I understand where you're coming from, Shane.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you off there, but I got to interject real quick because...
Okay, let's hear it.
I agree with you up until it gets to Marlise. They've shown a lot of the interactions that she has had specifically with this character have been super ultra negative, where Marlise was acting as a monster. She fought her with a katana outside the courtyard. Her very dubious acting, and that's why this episode I realized that Marlise is the actress is just a fantastic actress. Is when I came to the realization of all the times that she interacted with Iris being so negative and so hurtful, not just like, oh, it's a villain, but like hurtful levels of interaction. So I can understand the character change.
Wait, you can understand Iris's character change?
I can understand Iris's character change to Marlise this episode.
Okay. But then all of a sudden she flips back and basically now empathizes with her when she's with her.
But that's when she's
flip flop.
That's when she sees Marlise as human and scared, and she sees Marlise hesitate, and then she sees Marlise put her hand on Harry's head and look at him with almost with like sadness. That's she's seeing what Harry's been saying the whole episode. She's seeing that firsthand. When beforehand, every interaction she had with Marlise was Marlise being a hurtful monster, and now she's seeing Marlise as human, almost regretful when looking at Harry. I think that's what flips her back to regular Iris.
Okay, I mean, I'll go with you on this. I think that I don't think Iris was very kind to Harry this episode. I think this is all Harry. I think Iris is getting too much credit for this.
I'm not saying Iris is the reason they're there. I think Harry is the reason why Marlise is going to flip.
Well, yeah, he is, but I think Iris is kind of getting the credit for it.
Yeah, she's kind of taking the credit. Yeah,
and
like, Barry, I found Marlise. No, you didn't.
I don't like that. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. Is I feel like he was kind of
come on, give the dumb guy some credit, okay? He's a dumb.
Give him something, But anyways, I'll go with what you're saying there. Yeah, let's run with that.
Well, when she does see that humanity, she starts to quote Marlise's previous papers and essays that she wrote about technology and attrition and world hunger and all those things that she wrote before she met DeVoe. And she made it clear, before you met DeVoe, this was your outlook. You wanted to help people. You wanted to save the world. Now, now this makes sense as to why Iris has a purpose. Iris is pouring over all the research while Team Flash is doing the almost pointless stuff they've been doing lately.
I would much rather this be Iris's superpower than her at the middle of the control station dictating how people are going to fight in a superhero battle.
Yes, Let Iris be Overwatch. Let her be the Batman of this universe. No superpowers necessary. Her using her mind and her powers of research and powers of the regular. You know what? All humans have this, right? Humans have the ability to process information and to really dig in and to find, to think outside the box and to find pieces and connections and human connections when superheroes might not. That's what makes Batman such a popular character, because Batman is all of us. Batman is just like you and me, except for he has a couple $1 billion in the bank. And that makes him an achievable superhero, right? If we get a couple $1 billion, we could be Batman.
That you're 100% right. This is the way Iris needs to be. This is the way they need to go the whole way. Get her out from center stage, move her to the periphery, and honestly, it should be Cisco or Caitlin, somebody sitting in that chair, anyways, or Harry. It should be Harry sitting in that chair. Yeah. If you want to know the.
Because he's the physicist. He's the guy who invented the technology they're using. I get that.
He should be the guy in the chair, not Iris. And Iris should be
the investigative, the journalist, the detective. She should be putting the pieces together, connecting humans to other humans. That's what we need. That's what we need. And in the comic books, she was a freaking reporter. It works. Yeah.
Listen, Berlantiverse people. Let's have a conversation before we start season 5, okay? Let's talk about this.
And that quote that she threw at Marlize, that optimism is brave or whatever it was, and then says, you wrote that. That line. It worked, man. It worked.
It did work. It worked. It was a great moment. It was a way to turn the character, and I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. All right, we get back, and his satellite is destroyed. So plan 73C-A category 5 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
He just heads over to Star Labs, puts up a Kilgore, whatever the character's name is, shield.
Barry.
Makes it so Barry can't phase. You know what I liked? That Barry tried to phase and couldn't. Because if he just sat there banging on the door, I'd be like, phase, Barry!
Yeah,
phase!
They tried to. Oh, they did it right.
They did it right. He used Gideon. He couldn't phase through. They used Gideon to launch the signal and the satellite from Star Labs, bringing it full circle. Because all this whole mess started at Star Labs, and now it's going to end at Star Labs.
Well, I think there was already a satellite that Star Labs uses up there, and that they just used it to upload to that satellite.
Right, and it sent out the power too. It looks like it's sending out a power thing.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a visual representation of the Enlightenment protocol going into the whatever.
And here we go. Enlightenment's happening. It's game over.
All right,
and that's season finale. Everybody dies.
Come back to season 5 when everybody's really dumb and walking around, and Barry's picking them up.
Barry's like, I don't know what to do here, guys. Iris is like, book, 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 book. and Harry's over there like, huh? Everybody's just at Star Labs. Like Cisco is like vibing himself into space. Everybody's just
don't do that.
Okay, guys, that's it for the show. Overall, I had a great time. I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed not just last night's episode, but this discussion of last night's episode. And if you did, comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you agree or disagree, or any points that we may have missed. Also, if we made some mistakes, please give us the corrections below, because we do that often. And do me a favor while you're commenting. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And then right next to it, hit that little alert button if you haven't already done so. And you know what? Might as well hit the share button while you're there. And share it with a friend. Because we're trying to get to 3,200 subscribers. And that's it, guys.
Thank you, Brian. Well done. Well done.
My outros have not been great lately. But listen. We love you all. We'll be back tomorrow. We don't know what it is yet, so stay tuned. Hit the alert button to find out. Have a great night.
See you guys tomorrow.